Welcome to this month's edition of Market Insights. I'm Conor from Warwick Williams, and this month we have Jacki Williams here, one of our most experienced agents on the team. We want to give you a rundown on what's happened in the first quarter of 2021. We've seen some exceptional results and certainly a lot of activity. Jacki, tell us a little bit of what you've seen.
Absolutely. Look, I suppose one of the core areas of our marketplace that we've seen really move has been the families who are upsizing. So in that price bracket, anywhere between say 2.5 million to 4 million, there seems to be great strength in that market. In particular, talking about those family homes that seem to tick all the boxes for people. So where they have the land size, the 4 bedrooms plus and a pool.
Yep.
A view is great, but not essential. I mean, you're really not getting much for under 3 million these days.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
So benchmark has increased, obviously. Everyone was very excited in Drummoyne and Russell recently when the domain results came out.
Brilliant.
And said that we were in the top 10 suburbs for the year as far as growth was concerned.
Yeah.
I think that was about sort of 20% for each of them.
Yeah, I think it's about 26 for Drummoyne, 23 for Russell. So nice to put us into that top 10 category. With the number of suburbs that we're looking after.
Yeah, very much so. And I think part of that growth has come from the fact that traditionally we do see many locals buying locally, but because of the shortage of stock through Sydney in its entirety, we have seen some of the surrounding areas coming a little bit closer. And that means that we've got people coming from Lower North Shore, further in the inner west, and then also from your Balmain, Roselle areas where they're getting a lot more bang for buck here in Drummoyne, Russell, Abbotsford, Five Dock.
Yeah, and like we've said in a number of our previous videos over the last 3 months, that there is still that shortage of stock on the market at the moment. So it's very difficult for purchasers to get into Drummoyne or Russell or any of the surrounding suburbs. So coupled with that added competition, it's really a good environment to be selling.
Yeah, very much so. I know probably there's been two items that we wanted to really touch on today. One of them is what agents are quoting and what properties are then selling for, and our standing point on that. And I guess just on that, it has been challenging for us as agents as well as buyers out there. We're meeting a lot of you that are sharing your frustrations with the fact that there are still many agents out there underquoting ridiculously low prices in order to get as many people in as possible and then have the property sell. We, on the other hand, have been taking the view of trying to pitch the property in at the market where we do see value, and that's in line with conversations that we've had with our vendors as well, so that everyone is on that same page. And we do then try, as we get further into the campaign at that 2 to 3 week mark, and we've got a real grasp on what the feedback is sharing that feedback with purchasers so that you know well ahead of our auction date, or if you're trying to buy beforehand, what level of interest there is and what the realistic pricing points should be. Of course, there's always going to be those outliers where we see big results on auction day. We can't always be right, but we certainly are trying our best to help the buyers out there ascertain what market value is.
Yeah, I think transparency in this market from an agent perspective is really essential, not only in order to achieve the best result for the vendor, but of course to keep that relationship with the buyer as well.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, we don't want to waste anyone's time either at the end of the day, because we know that's important. The other thing that we wanted to touch on was what's been happening in our rental market.
Exactly,
obviously that was probably the biggest part of our market that was impacted throughout COVID and beyond, but really pleased to report that just in the last couple of weeks in particular, starting to see some return to normal vacancy rates, which is great. So for example, at the height of COVID, we probably had between 50 and 60 open homes on a Saturday for lease. We're now back to around that sort of 25 to 30 properties a week. So
which is
more
great.
normal views, which is excellent.
Yeah, so really returning back to that pre-COVID environment. And again, even from both the sales and the rental scenario, which, generally isn't the case. It's usually one is up and the other is down, but fortunately both for sellers, buyers, landlords and tenants, that we're all working on a level playing field.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. So look, we've been enjoying the marketplace. It's a fun market to be working in, but by all means it does raise lots of questions for people because it's so fast paced and moving. So if there's anything at all that any of you want to discuss, by all means please feel free to give Conor and I a call.
Great, thanks. See you next month.